Warning: this series may contain discussions about the accountancy profession, jargon of a financial nature, and some really engaging content. Episode 1: What it takes to become an award-winning accountant and Flinders' unique approach. In this episode, we hear from Alastair Barlow just what it takes to become an award-winning accountant and the work that goes into that achievement. Before the award comes the hard work in achieving growth in revenue, growth in client numbers, employees, and maintaining high satisfaction levels. Alistair takes us through why a multi-channel approach is necessary to achieve your goals and unpicks the story of Flinders' success through their unique approach. So welcome one and all to that GI video podcast with me, GI James. Today I'm joined by none other than founder, chief dreamer of Flinder, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Alastair Barlow. Alistair, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. I love how you refer to yourself as GI James.
Me too. I was going to say it's not a title that I've put on myself, actually from a few clients. That's what I'm now known as through the industry, but usually just go by James. You can call me James, GI James, whatever you
Well, in many ways, it's just good to be known in the industry, right? Regardless of whether it's good, bad, or ugly. So
absolutely.
It's good for brand regardless.
Indeed, absolutely. But I guess on that, being known in the industry, right? You know, Flinder are an incredibly well-decorated practice. Most recently, as we can see there quite nicely in the background, the Accounting Excellence Fast Track Firm of the Year 2020.
Yeah, it's not staged at all.
Not staged at all. Tell me, Alistair, what's it take to become an award-winning practice?
I think, well, I mean, I guess first of all, you probably have to ask the judges as to what it takes to be an award-winning practice. I think, obviously you've got to have a good application to do that, but it's got to be backed up by actual facts and justification. And so if you look at Fast Track, for us anyway, it comes back to, there's a couple of layers on this. One, it's actually going, what has the traction been? What has the growth been in revenue? What has the growth been in client numbers, client expansion? What has the growth in employee numbers been, whilst maintaining like high satisfaction levels, so NPS scores, eNPS scores, engagement levels across the team. So that's kind of proof of the pudding, if you like. That's the proof of kind of the hard work and what it takes to be an award-winning firm or fast track firm. In terms of to get there, it's an incredibly complex recipe that hopefully we'll try and unbundle in the session to get to that point. And there's no one thing. It's a combination of a whole host of factors. And actually, we've been going just over 4 years, but it's a culmination of, decades of experience in PwC and understanding what value is to companies, what finance functions need, what finance functions look like, taking the best and inspiration from large multinationals, taking the best from our experiences at PwC, bringing in brilliant people that have diverse views and can bring a bunch of commercial skills, a bunch of communication skills, can bring in tech skills, data skills, all of the above, and an incredible, I know every business owner and founder talks about hard work, but an incredible amount of passion and persistence and, utterly believing in a vision and working extremely hard to get to that and to kind of realize the vision that we have. And that is kind of, not quite, but pretty much like every day for 4 years as founders, full throttle on the gas to drive the business forward and lead it from the front and not rest on our laurels and kind of pass it over to other people, really drive that business forward. So drive the business forward. So I think, all of the above, don't get me wrong, we take holidays, we take a lot of holidays, right? But we still work on the business when we're away. We still think about the business. We when I say like 6-7 days a week, we don't work 12 hours a day, 6-7 days a week, but we're always inching it forward towards the vision that we have. So yeah, a combination of all of that plus a unique Flinder recipe is, I guess, the culmination to grow the business the way in which we have grown it.
Amazing. I guess on that, the unique Flinder recipe. Tell me a bit more about that. What makes Flinder unique?
Well, I mean, every business is unique. For a start, so every accounting firm is unique. Some more unique than others, but everyone's unique, and that comes from the DNA of the business. It comes from the leaders of the business, the culture of the people that make it up, the aspirations, the clients they work on, the kind of the and in fact, a lot of it comes from the interaction with clients and what permeates back from the client into the culture of the business. So I think working with, working with, very tech savvy, forward thinking, aggressively growing businesses also permeates back into our business and gives us the appetite to grow alongside with them. I can't remember what it is. You are the product of the 5 people you hang around with, right? Or that sort of thing.
Absolutely.
And we hang around with a lot of fast growth, very ambitious founders and leaders, that don't never settle, basically. So, we obviously have that as well. And we have very aligned values and vision with our clients as well, which makes it work so well working with them, but also it permeates back, as I say, into the culture of our team. I can't actually remember what the start of your question was.
What makes Flinder unique?
Yeah, what makes it so absolutely the fact that so a lot of people have started with a blank canvas. So we started with a blank canvas and we had a very, very clear vision for this type of business. We were involved in PwC, my finance partner, which was a great business, great business units in PwC, a great vision. Some elements of struggling with the traction because it was incubated in a large multinational, and kind of some gaps there, or rather we saw a different way of delivering those services to our clients, or to who we saw as a target market with a huge gap in there. So straight away we identified a gap, we identified a problem that had to be fixed, and we saw our way of doing it, which at the time 4 years ago was very different to really anyone on the market, and still actually to some extent is quite different. The kind of end-to-end nature and the depth that we go to with our business, with our clients, so there's this want to do things as efficiently as possible, always, and never settling, and that's in the culture, and that's across the people we hire as well, and we hire to we hire to attitude and kind of values, as well as technical, obviously. So there's an element around that with the people. The clients, we're very clear on who we work with, and we're very choosy. We have the luxury of choosing who we want to work with and who we don't want to work with, and we won't ever kind of dilute that, because it's got to be interesting for us, it's got to be exciting for our people to work on, it's got to be challenging. So we work with very complex businesses generally, and that adds to the flavor and the uniqueness. But it's about embracing entrepreneurialism, it's about embracing technology, and something that wasn't really talked about as much 4 years ago was data. I think, fast forward 4 years, it's certainly talked about a lot more, but it's largely financial data that's talked about. And we very much want to embrace business data, so financial and operational data. And we don't bang on a mission or a drum about, all about finances. We're actually there to help businesses make better decisions. And of course, finance is a huge part to play in that, because it's the backbone of any business. But equally, it's about bringing it back and making it real for the client, and really stepping into the shoes of the client and understanding what value is for them. So not really approaching it from a finance perspective, obviously finance experts, but approaching it more from a business perspective. So I think all of those, throw them into a drum or a food mixer, and you have an element of the Flinder kind of philosophy, if you like. But it's very much around helping businesses make better decisions and navigating the noise in their business through all the broken data, the broken technology that might be there, and fixing that, streamlining it, and getting to an actionable decision point, really.
Fantastic.